What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 worst episodes of The Flash. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. So coming in at number 10, I have Season 4, Episode 5, titled Girls' Night Out. Now, this episode used to be basically agreed upon to be the worst episode in Flash history. That is until, episodes or seasons 7, 8, and 9 came out. But yeah, this episode sucks. Obviously, it's got it's a big focus on like feminism, which has no place in the Flash TV show. It's a big Frost-focused storyline, which again nobody really cared about, even in season 4. Aminette Black is an awful villain. The only good thing about this episode is Barry getting drunk is really funny. But yeah, that's about it. It was focused on Iris, Cecile, and Frost, and I guess Felicity. So yeah, this episode was not very good whatsoever. So coming in at number 9, I have Season 9, Episode 8, titled Partners in Time. Now, I guess it's a good thing that Barry was in the majority of this episode, but the episode was pointless. A stupid random villain, a stupid and unnecessary storyline that should have no place in the final season of the show. This show had no purpose whatsoever. I mean, Eric Wallace was probably just trying to make like a funny episode or something like that, but just focus on something that actually has to do with the Flash instead of whatever this is. I don't know what was the point of this. But yeah, this episode just had no value, and it just all I thought it did was just make viewers angry. So yeah, this episode comes in at number 9. So now at number 8, I have Season 8, Episode 14, titled A Funeral for a Friend. Now, this episode just basically showed how each member of Team Flash was dealing with Frost's death, but they're acting like she was like some beloved character or something, but nobody cared that she died. At least I didn't care that she died. In fact, after she was like split up from Caitlin in like Season 7, I was predicting and kind of rooting for her to die because she had no point to the show anymore. I had already thought since Season 5 that she was an awful character. So yeah, the fact that they have so many episodes in Season 8 dedicated to Frost is one of the worst things about the season, because yeah, this episode was totally pointless. There's so many episodes just like this one of the Flash's later seasons that they could have just taken out and the storyline would have not been affected whatsoever. So yeah, this one, I mean, yeah, they could have just had a quick funeral scene for Frost, but that's it. They didn't have to have a whole episode dedicating to like Barry and Team Flash's how they're dealing with Frost's death, even though there's no way Barry cared about Frost that much. This is just ridiculous. So yeah, this episode comes in at number 8. So at number 7, I have Season 7, Episode 11, titled Family Matters Part 2. Now, first of all, the writing in this episode is absolutely horrendous. The whole family concept with the Forces calling Barry and Iris their parents is just awful and so cringe. Speed Force Nora is an absolutely awful villain. She's just like crying like a little baby in this episode. It's so ridiculous. I don't understand I don't even understand how they really defeated her, because like she is the Speed Force. I don't know how she gets defeated so easily. I guess there was one kind of cool scene where all the Forces gave Barry their powers for like temporarily, and he like ran around a tornado. I guess that was kind of cool. But everything else in this episode was just awful. Now at number 6, I have Season 9, Episode 2, titled Hear No Evil. Now, there was a big Hartley Rathaway storyline in this episode for some reason, which, why? I mean, I thought he was just like, he was dealt with in Season 1. So I don't know why they're just carrying this on in Season 9. That doesn't really make any sense. Keown, this is the episode where Keown basically was like, I want to decide who I am. I'm going to be Keown and not turn back into Caitlin or Frost. So yeah, Team Flash loses Caitlin, and for some reason everyone is just okay with that because they go out and party at the end of the episode, which was just so weird and stupid. Like Caitlin dies and you go out and party that night. That doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, obviously Keown is one of the worst characters the show has ever had. It really should have just been Caitlin the entirety of Season 9. So yeah, this episode just started what ended up being awful in Season 9. So now at number 5, I have Season 7, Episode 13, titled Masquerade. The only good thing in this episode is that Barry is in the majority of it, but it's really just focused on Cecile and her mental health issues that she had in the past. That's literally what the entire episode was focused on, which nobody cares about. I'm sorry, but nobody cares about Cecile and her mental health issues. They really did not need a whole episode dedicated to this. This is another episode that could have been used to focus on the Godspeed storyline, but instead they're doing pointless filler episodes that don't make any sense. So yeah, this episode, again, like a lot of the episodes so far on this list, just makes viewers angry. And yeah, it just overall was terrible. So coming in number 4, I have the second to last episode of the entire show, Season 9, Episode 12, titled A New World Part 3. Now, the thing that really makes me angry about this episode is that The Flash is only in half of the episode, and Cecile has a storyline in this episode, and I just realized this. Cecile has a season-long storyline in Season 9. The Flash does not. That is just totally ridiculous. So yeah, The Flash is only in half of this episode. The episode focused on Cecile, which is obviously what we wanted. The second half of the second to last episode of the show, focusing on a side character that nobody likes, is definitely what we wanted. And the thing that is the most hysterical about this episode is they go to the year 2049, and Team Flash doesn't look like they've aged at all, which is so stupid. Cecile literally doesn't look any different, and she's supposed to be almost 80 years old in 2049. But she doesn't look like that at all, which is just ridiculous and just made me laugh. The only good thing in this episode is the Eddie and Barry scene was really cool. I really like their confrontation where they're basically talking to each other the first time since Eddie killed himself. I thought that was really cool. But everything else in this episode was just awful. So yeah, it comes in at number 4. So coming in at number 3, I have Season 7, Episode 14, titled Rayo de Luz. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but yeah, this is an Allegra-focused storyline. Yeah, who cares? Nobody cares about Allegra. Sue Dearborn's in this episode for some reason, which I don't know why she's in this episode. Her being in the episode without Ralph just doesn't feel right whatsoever. The storyline revolved around Allegra's cousin, and again, who cares? Yeah, this episode is basically showing Allegra's journey with her powers and fighting her cousin or whatever. I haven't watched this episode in like 2 years, but yeah, this episode, it was just awful. So now coming in at number 2, I have Season 9, Episode 7, titled Wildest Dreams. Now, this is a dreamer-focused episode in the final season of The Flash, which is ridiculous. She wasn't even a good character on Supergirl, and now she gets an entire episode dedicated to her on The Flash and in the final season, and she never even interacted with any other Flash characters in the past. So why does she get a whole episode? I don't know. And yeah, there's also this little side storyline with Keone and Mark, and this might be the worst scene in the CW's history. Keone and Mark are arguing very publicly in a bar, which was just horrendous to watch. It was, it physically hurt me to watch this scene. Basically, Mark is trying to be more than friends with Keone, and he's arguing about it with her in front of a bunch of people in a bar. And it was so hard to watch. It's so cringe, and it's the worst scene in the show's history by far. So yeah, Episode 7, titled Wildest Dreams, definitely deserves to be up here at number 2. And now coming in at number 1, I have Season 9, Episode 6, titled The Good, the Bad, and the Lucky. Now, this episode right here is an actual 0 out of 10. There was nothing good in this episode whatsoever. For some reason, Becky Sharp returns, and they say that she's alive again because of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Why did they want to bring her back? I don't know. It's not like she was a good character in the first place, because obviously she wasn't. Yeah, there was zero reason for her to return. The episode was also very Cecile and Allegra focused, with Barry and Iris obviously leaving at the start of the episode, which is just awful. Yeah, this episode was just a combination of boring, cringe, and basically making me angry. That's all this episode did. So yeah, Season 9, Episode 6, I think deserves to be at number 1 and is the worst episode in Flash history. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your guys' own list of your top 10 worst episodes of The Flash. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.